Uh, I don't know why this 46 is not working. I tried 3 times to upload it. I think something, when I look at it on my screen, it works, but it's slightly off the audio from the visual, and then when I upload it, it seems to just simply disappear. It was a pity because it's not bad what I'm saying, but do I really have to now repeat it? I'm almost not. I said that the 3 things that we should try is to deal with the map of Aitan, to try this, what I said, and then I repeated everything of the score, like the spaces, and I was explaining why I think these different spaces are interesting to try. I will redo it tomorrow. I cannot do it now. It's too much. But so, okay, if it doesn't work now, I'm trying again because it could also be my battery or whatever. And then the third thing is this thing really about changing spaces. And I don't know what you were speaking about before about narratives, because I'd never thought that I said something about having a clear narrative. But anyway, I think there's now something in relation to whether we're doing an improvisational score or a more choreographic score, and there I think time, this issue that keeps coming up and we have no solution for, is for sure one of the parameters which will determine what type of score we are dealing with. I feel like it's too early to kind of, I want to still explore things, so I think we should keep working. And then your question about whether we should do the same or not, and whether you should trance dance or not, I don't know, because I have no idea what this other thing that you're talking about, I have no idea what it is. So I get that it has to do, of course, with these maps, but I haven't understood anything about what you might actually be doing, which in a way I like very much. I think that's super interesting. I'm still doing trance dancing and I'm very interested in this, and I think I will try to continue on this, but try to intermix it with this idea of maps. I'm not at all against that we do different things. I think it's also, we're doing an experiment of how this working influences our way of producing, and if it means that we become interested in different things and that physically different things starts to make sense, as we cannot share this reality of the work of being together in the studio and getting excited about finding a certain materiality and movement, then that must be part of it, I think. So I'm of course curious what you're doing. At the same time, I think what is important is that we continue speaking, and that all the changes we make in our whatever directions we take, that they come from our speaking, which I think is clear, as that's how it's working for the moment. So I would say let's do these experiments now based on the idea of the map, like a spatial map, and also this idea of this stuff. So I just read you said you couldn't see the second one. So space number 2, it says a landscape that you know extremely well, that you do not need to really move through in order to experience it. Then there was a long explanation about this in the other video, but fine. I think this is for today. So I would say those 3 things. The map of Aitan, which is more a spatial map, the ideas of imaginary spaces, which are either directly connected to spaces that we know, or imaginary spaces. So the 4 that I suggested before could be a start for that. And the third thing for me would be this really thinking specifically about the staircase that walks backwards, the different kinds of spaces, and how this influences the movement. And and then you said this thing about having another map also, which I think is fine. We could also keep that. And then I would say we work on this the next week, and then we come back together, and then we try. And then I have to say, of course, I have been doing another score also physically this week. And this is really trance dance, and I actually went on this kind of very physical track where I work somehow with how the activity produces images, and how these images are somehow visible and invisible, hallucinatory, appearing, disappearing. And I think it can be totally connected to all this, so I don't think it's at all contradictory, but I think for me what is important is that I'm practicing dancing at the same time as I'm thinking about all these things. but I'm totally open for different directions, and let me know also what you think, because I think it's important, as we are working alone in the studio, it's important that we feel excited about what we're doing, and if that means going in different directions, for me that's no problem, as long as we keep talking and share. We need to share certain things, of course, else we stop talking. Okay, more tomorrow. Okay, ciao, good night.